What is happening here? Are the sheeps gonna kill me? Hey guys, Colbrew here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today we'll be showcasing all the legendary blessings from the Altar of Souls, which has unlocked today for the live servers as well. Today I'm on test server though, since I do have access to 6-star blessings for some specific heroes that Plarium gave us for. So I do have Rotos, and he will be the main person showcasing this today. Right, every single blessing showcased. We're gonna start out, and I'll explain some things before we get going. So there's different families of blessings, right? Different families of blessings. You unlock the blessings depending on the star that you have your specific hero awakened. And as your blessing goes higher and higher, so up to 6 stars, you get more base stats boosted for your hero, similar to how the empowerments boost your hero, but also you get a specific skill enabled because of that blessing. You can only have one blessing at a time, and it benefits your hero or your team as a whole, or your hero benefits by reducing, let's say, the defense on the enemy. But for legendary blessings, there's different and more specific skills and how they work. So we get started with Intimidating Presence. That's 200 gems to change, by the way, from one blessing to another. Good thing I'm on the test server for this. So Intimidating Presence, this one is very good for support heroes that you have awakened. You don't, I won't even showcase this honestly because it's very basic. I can change to this where it will strengthen my aura, the team's aura, by 35%, and it will weaken the enemy team's aura by 20%. So this is very, very strong, since it doesn't matter if you have or not your aura on your hero that you're blessing, because he benefits the aura that maybe somebody else applies through the leader slot. So I have Intimidating Presence, and now my aura will be boosted. If I wanted to change, by the way, to a different family, that's 300 gems. So be very careful with changing around through blessings. So this is the very first blessing. I would say it's a very strong one, since it does benefit your support hero with more resistance, more defense, more importantly, than the 1000 health, and of course speed, which is, as you know, very, very important as you want to get closer and closer to using champions in arena, especially end game arena. Speed is going to crazy amounts right now, and this will be nothing too different, really. And then let's have a look at Lightning Change, the first one that I actually showcased, where whenever an enemy receives a buff or has the terminator filled, places a lightning orb stack on this champion. This one is one that is very specific, since the enemy has to move. They have to either get a buff or their terminator filled, and then it places one lightning orb stack on this champion. So what the lightning orb stacks do: whenever a champion with 3 lightning orb stacks hits an enemy target, inflicts bonus damage to them based on their max HP. Bonus damage can occur each hit of a skill, but does not count as an extra hit. After the bonus damage is applied, all active lightning orb stacks are removed from this champion. So the lightning orb stacks by themselves are very strong, because they also have the extra 50% chance to protect a random buff from being stolen, removed, or transferred when you receive that lightning orb. So if you receive buffs also from a different champion, it will also have a chance to protect your own buffs. So the bonus damage that is inflicted though is a little bit different, since bonus damage inflicted by each lightning orb is equivalent to 2% of an enemy champion's health or 1% of the boss's max health. So bosses do cap out in terms of the damage that they take. So that is the only thing that is annoying with this one. I did test most of these out. This one also benefits you from 25% extra crit damage, 10 speed, and 500 attack, and 1000 health, which is huge for Rotos, as you see right there. So an easy way to test this out actually is in the Iron Twins Fortress. Sadly, it's forced today, so we're gonna have to suffer a little bit through the force. And let's just remove a lot of my heroes, which I have here, and I'll just put a buffer in there, which is Sifi, so we can see the lightning orb charges there very, very clear. And also we'll see the protected buffs as well. So boom, you see I do have one lightning orb charge. It didn't happen to protect my buffs as well. Extra turns if you have multiple boosters. You see here, now it's finally on 3 stacks. No buffs are protected. I'll go boom, discharge that. 139 plus 6,000 damage. That was the only damage we did. That is kind of sad, to be honest. That is probably less than 1% of the boss's health. So it doesn't look that interesting to me. Then we do another buff. That's 3. Let's say you have triple buffers at all times. Then Rotos will be able to go in and, come on, let's see, 125 and another 5,000 damage. That's 2.5% of the boss's health. That's not good. That's not good in terms of damage. And even if that amount of damage is more on normal champions instead of bosses, I don't really like it. Not really liking it. So having a look at the dark family of blessings, we've got Temporal Change, which decreases each enemy speed for each active buff they're under. And then on High Awakening bonus, on a 4-turn cooldown, by the way, whenever an enemy receives a third active buff, instantly decreases the turn meters of all enemies by a certain amount. So this will count only for one time. One time the turn meter will be decreased. But I'm wondering now, is this really worth having? And does accuracy matter for this one if it is gonna be reducing the turn meter of enemies? Maybe that's why this also provides accuracy to the champion with the blessing. So it will count once and it will be decreasing by 15% the amount of turn meter boost that the enemies will be receiving. So I wonder how that's gonna work. Let's go into the arenas where it's easier to get enemies. So here, let's go over to try and beat Tyraco here. There's multiple buffers in the enemy team. I'll try to have it on a 1x speed here. And we'll try and see the buffs. We'll see the temporal happening. So boom. There's a temporal change. We saw the decrease in turn meter, but it wasn't really obvious on the turn meter bars. Although we did manage to get turns now with my own Sifi, and probably my Kaimar will go next. Yeah, I am seeing the temporal change all the time, but I'm not seeing. There's the decrease in turn meter finally. Okay, so that must have been the rotation that I was waiting 4 turns just to see the turn meter reduction. So definite use there. The other blessing right now. So the other blessing from the dark family tree is the one I was intrigued about, Word of the Fallen. So this one, start each round with the number of bone armor stacks, okay? A champion can have a maximum of 3. Deals bonus damage to each enemy hit by this champion. The number of times bonus damage is inflicted on each enemy target is equal to the number of dead allies. So this is very weird to have as a blessing, because it needs you to have dead allies for you to be doing bonus damage, which I still trying to figure it out. Bonus damage is proportional to this champion's attack, so it has to be a high attack based champion for it to be doing any damage, and adds 1 bone armor stack for each instance of bonus damage inflicted. So you can have maximum of 3. Remember, each bone armor gives you bonus damage, right? Well, the bonus damage is based on the dead allies, and the bone armor is just armor. Okay, the bonus armor is just armor. It's not changing my damage at all. I can start the round with 3 bone armor stacks, and each stack decreases damage received by 20%. That is insane, actually, for damage mitigation. So what I was trying this out with, and I'll show you right now, was actually Rotos on the Dragon's Lair. Okay, Dragon's Lair solo with 4 food champions. And that will enable, and you'll see on how that works. That basically has them as dead skeletons coming back up to life. And you see the 3 bone stacks there. Those are protecting me. They're not adding to my damage at all. So you see there, I'm at 1. That is fine. And once I have more champions dead, you'll see the extra damage. Once my allies die, come on. Okay, now they're dead. Now they're dead. And now you'll see the blessing in action. Okay, let's have a look at the A1 there. Look at the allies doing 10 and 11,000 damage each. I think that was also because of the defense down. So is my A1 going to kill them? Okay. Let's try the A3 here. Boom. 122k. And then another 6, 8, 9,000. And, ooh, I've got a decreased attack now. Maybe that's affecting things a little bit. Increase my max HP. Remember, I don't even have a lifesteal set right now. Look at that. I wonder if he can solo because of this. Remember, the bone armor stacks also give me damage mitigation. So I'm receiving 20% less damage because of that. And I just wonder if this is just good for soloing stuff. Rotos doesn't have a real problem soloing stuff. But look at that. That's another almost 30,000 damage because it's 6 to 8,000. And on average, it should be about 30,000 damage that we're doing because of that. Look at that. Boom, boom. And defense down does help a lot. Having defense down does help a lot. So the skeletons do benefit from that extra bit of damage. Look at that. Look at that. So they don't come up if you are going to kill the target. So yeah, now that we one-shotted that one, they didn't come up. But look at that. 3,000 there on that one. Tyrell, because he's high defense, defense-based champion. Look at that. Extra turn. I wonder if Relentless Gear, Rotos would have done better with this one. Because he also has damage mitigation. So it's not 60%, by the way. It's 30% that we're receiving now. You saw that one stack there. The allies come back to life and they all attack. So they take my bonus stacks back to full. And I think if I had more resistance, I wouldn't be getting like the weaken debuff or the poisons on me. And that would have made the run much easier. But it's not looking like Rotos is going to solo here. It's not looking like he's going to solo. Because he's already quite low. Maybe if he does the A1, applies the defense down. Maybe defense down is going to help a little bit. But yeah, those poisons are literally killing me. The skeletons are doing solid work there. A2. It's doing alright damage. But I think I'm going to kill myself soon enough. Look at that. With the defense down, it does do much more damage. Let's do the A3. 11,000 health. Then boom, boom, boom. Another 10, 12,000 damage dealt there. Let's do the A1 there. Was trying to get an extra turn. Come on, extra turn. Oh. Yes. Okay. We didn't manage to solo. There, I had to stop with the A2 uses because those could be annoying. But that blessing actually looks cool. That looks interesting. It depends on your allies dying, which is not something you want. I wonder if that's going to be used more for champions that can solo stuff. But it doesn't work through poisons, which is what usually champions that apply that do solo stuff do. Okay, they have poisons or HP burns doing the work for them. So Bad Alcazar soloing Dragon 25, Tomb Lord, all of those, they use poisons to do that, and that will not apply the bonus damage. So kind of sad actually. All right, we're done with this one. Let's have a look at the other blessings now. We changed the blessings. Let's go to War blessing. Let's look at Life Harvest. Destroys a portion of revived enemies max HP whenever they're revived. Mid awakening bonus, so not the high end awakening bonus. Whenever enemies are revived, partially fills this champion's perimeter for each enemy revived. So this will not work on the spider, by the way. Doesn't work on the spider for sure because the spiralings are not revived. They're summoned. So destroys a portion of revived enemies max HP. Let's have a look at how this works. Let's have a look at how this works. And where can we see revived enemies? Probably the Ice Golem's Peak is somewhere that we'll see that. But let's have a look at the spider just to make sure that it doesn't work in there. So we'll put Rotos. And we'll go in and see this one. Okay. Yeah, the spiderlings. Can we kill the spiderlings? Yeah, let's go to a lower. Let's go to a lower difficulty because this one's gonna be a pain to actually kill the spiderlings and see them drop down. But that's a summon for sure. That's a summon for sure. So it's not gonna work with that. Okay, he brings it back down and it's not decrease max HP. That's because of the A2 that I used. Yeah, so that's not a revive. Where could I get a revive? That would probably be the safest bet will probably be Arena. So if I go to Arena, we'll have to see a revive in action. So who does have a reviver? Yeah, we've got a Duchess here on the enemy team. So when the revive, will be getting extra turn meter because of that. So I'm not gonna lock them out because I just want to kill them. So I'm gonna try and take out the Lydia reaction, of course. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll kill this Torment with Rotos, and he's gonna revive, and that should also give me a boost to my turn meter because of his revive, and also decrease his own max HP. So look at that decrease, and I get a boost on turn meter, although Rotos gets an extra turn also when he does kill an enemy with the A3 skill. So I think it's a solid skill, especially if you're fighting multiple revives and it's being annoying. I think in the Hydra the heads are not considered as revived, and they also have that specific passive that cannot reduce their max HP. So I don't think this blessing will be any good for any of the bosses. I think it's very specific, more so used for the arena, maybe faction wars, maybe for the ice golem, but nothing too much about anything else. So carrying on with the blessings, we're gonna have a look at Soul Reaper. So Soul Reaper is one of the more interesting ones. It does have a 3-turn cooldown, so have that in mind when you're using something like this on Rotos, because Rotos already has a very high kill potential when he's using his A3 skill. And if the Reaper comes in to take the kill, I don't think that will give him the extra turn, let's say, from his A3 skill to keep on going. But let's have a look at stage 20. So the obvious thing that's bad about this Soul Reaper is that it only benefits your champion once the boss starts to be low enough, and specifically for the dragon, the boss will be low enough somewhere around this mark right here, where you see my mouse pointer. That's when the Soul Reaper will actually work. It does have a 3-turn cooldown, so it will honestly just be a one-time thing. So that's what is kind of annoying to me. And since the bosses on stage 20 and higher already have a limitation on the damage that they take, this will not benefit them that much, since it will be capped out to 10% of the boss's health, which is kind of sad. It also, I've tested it on clan boss, and it doesn't work on the clan boss when the clan boss is low. So that 1% when the clan boss is unlimited, I can actually show you guys. Right, next, there's the Reaper, and boom, 500,000 because we dropped it quite low. It doesn't really change much from the team, because if you have a team already that goes through the waves, and then once you go through the waves, you reach the boss damage is there. We did 500,000, but it would have been limited if it was something like the Spider or Dragon's Lair on stage 25. And for the clan boss, as I said, I was testing this out earlier today, and I was doing it on easy for the stream. And I'll show you guys again what I mean by that is that the Reaper will not come up to play or to do any damage when the boss is on 1% health here. So the clan boss, boom, 90,000, no Reaper there. So it doesn't work at all. And it's kind of sad. It would have been nice to at least have the Reaper every 3 turns to come up. It would be very specific for the clan boss, because you would have to wait for the boss to drop low in order to benefit from having Soul Reaper on your champions. And I wonder if that's actually doing anything to your own team. So finally, let's have a look at the Chaos Blessings. We have a look at Polymorph first. Has a chance of placing a sheep debuff on an enemy champion for 2 turns whenever they place debuffs on this champion, or remove or steal buffs from them. This debuff cannot be blocked or resisted, as well as placed on a boss. So this is very specific, and it only counts when debuffs are placed or removed or stolen from them. This is honestly just for just for an arena team. You'll put this on a defensive champion, defense plus resistance plus speed. Let's have a look at it though. We'll go in the arenas again, and I would have loved it was a little bit different than this. So we need to have our buffs stolen or removed. So which champion does that? Which There it is. There's the sheep. Finally happened. Okay, the sheep is there. And I guess the sheep, you can just leave it alone and not touch it for the remaining of the fight, because it's 2 turns of complete inactivity by one of the enemy champions. But you see, on the low chance of it happening, 20% chance is honestly kind of the worst. I kill the sheep and then Venus comes back at 50%, which is the idea behind. There's the polymorph again, because buff stolen or removed. Oh, what is happening here? Why are there so many sheeps? what is happening here? Are the sheeps gonna kill me? I don't know, but it's looking like it. It definitely bugged out the page there. That was the most fun thing I've done so far with this showcase. It's crazy, but that was the best thing ever. Okay, let's have a look at Rotos with the final blessing, guys, to close off the video. And it's gonna be the most interesting one. It's gonna be the one that applies Smite on your hits. It will be 100% chance to apply Smite, and Smite does damage equal to 25% of the affected champion's health, and also 5% to the other enemies within the same group. Okay, and this is 100% chance at the 6-star ascension. It does give you some good buffs. This is not good for Rotos, but this will be insane for the bosses, and let me just show you why and what I mean by that. Okay, so we click on the clan boss. Let's go over to the normal clan boss first. We can go to the Ultra Nightmare, and let me show you what Smite does and how much damage that does, and then multiply that by every single turn that the boss takes. This has a 4-turn cooldown, which means your champion needs to take 4 turns before he can apply the Smite debuff again on the enemy. So if you have at least a 2-to-1 comp, meaning you go twice before the boss, then your Smite will be doing will be constantly on the boss, because the Smite goes on for two turns duration, and that does, look at it right now, boom, 250,000 damage per turn that the boss takes. That is insane in terms of damage potential, because if you have a team that is non-unkillable, okay, non-unkillable, which can go for 140 or so turns, then that means that the boss will be taking 120,000 per time that he is getting hit by that Smite. Every time he does an action, he takes that amount of damage, and you see it right there on how strong that Smite is. I can use it over on the Hydra as well. Let's go, and instead of her, I'll put in Rotos. And we'll see again, Smite in action. It cannot be cleansed by this nasty head right there. And this will probably not do the same amount of damage, 250,000, I don't think. But we'll see on how much damage that it'll actually do once we apply it. Once we get started, basically. We need to get Rotos to land a hit, though, before anything else. He needs to take a turn. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on, well, the non-weak enemy. I'm not gonna go on the one that fears me. Not gonna go on the one that redirects. I'm gonna go on this head right here. Boom, there's the Smite, okay? And I'm waiting for this head to take a turn, and that's the only way that that will do any damage. So I'm waiting for it to get a turn, and that's when it will take some damage on its own, and then the remaining will be on the other allies for that head. So let's see. Still waiting for it to get a turn. Maybe it's ideal to do it on heads that take multiple turns. Although this one, when it does take a turn, it will be a double turn. So look at that. 100,000. And then, ooh, 100,000 on the others as well. Okay, I'll have to check that on the when I'm editing, but that was 100,000 per proc on also the allies. And unfortunately, you cannot have multiples of Smite on the same team. If you have a look at the blessing, it says that only one Smite can be at any time on the enemy group. So it's not like HP burn where it's one on each enemy. It's one per group. Okay, so only one Smite debuff can be active per team at any point. It cannot be removed, blocked, resisted, or transferred. So that's great. But you see the potential there for the damage that it can do. And the more turns you take, the more of the Smite debuff you will be applying. And I'm kind of loving this one. I think this one's the strongest one. To close off the video, guys, we'll have a look at it in the arena to see that 25% of the enemy's health as damage. Okay, so we'll go in again, same kind of team. Let's apply the Smite on to Ursuga. And we're going to wait on her to get a turn. And that should do 25% of her health. Now she's actually a bit lower because her max health has been lowered. But that's going to be a solid amount of damage dealt on her. And until the debuff is removed, we cannot land it again. So let's see. Boom. Smite did 23,000. That was that 25% of her health? Didn't really look like 25%, but I'm okay with that. I mean, the 25% health is actually very solid there. I wouldn't use it for arena, but I would use it again for the clan bosses and even for the normal bosses. And we can have a look at the spiders then and see on how much that's gonna do on the big spider when it does get the big turn. Of course, the big spider will heal immediately, so that's gonna be a little annoying. But it should be something that is better than almost better than HP burn, but you won't really use it for the spider. The best teams out there kill the spider before it takes a turn, and it's ideal to kill it before it does take a turn. I wonder if the Smite is still going to do damage if my Rotos is dead. So it's not going to be removed, is it? Okay, no. Should have revived Rotos there. I'm waiting for the big spider to get a turn. There it is. And now Smite should go. It didn't? Did it go before? I didn't notice. Maybe I skipped it. Maybe I missed the damage from Smite. It would have been a big interaction right there. Maybe because Rotos was dead, his Smite didn't work. Maybe that was the case. Because I think it proc before when I was testing it while streaming. I'm gonna try and stay alive a little bit until the big spider gets a turn. Should take a turn right about now. Okay. No, it didn't work at all. That was weird. I'm pretty sure the other bosses will be taking damage. So if I do the same and I go to the Iron Twins, let's go to stage 10. Gonna try and see it in action here. So the boss will take a turn and we should see the animation being like the last one almost to do anything. Or not. That is so weird. Okay, now finally we see the Smite, and it did 166,000 damage to the boss. Solid. It's respectable, 166,000. Comparing it to the poisons, which did 11,000. That's way better in terms of potential that you can go. But remember, again, this is a legendary blessing that you have and not something that you'll have on all your champions. So this was the video, guys. I hope you liked it. Which blessing are you looking to apply to one of your champions, especially the legendary ones? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.